Hello and welcome to the Top Bins Premier League preview for Game Week 9. We've got all the action covered for this weekend's games. There's some crackers. There's going to be some controversial picks, and I'm a little bit worried because Dave's actually catching me up on the head-to-head for the picks. So have a look at the results. Dave got. Let's have a little review quickly of the weekend before. We both did pretty poorly, to be honest, in the last game week, Dave.
Again, it's weird. We've both got a 4. I think this is the second time in 8 weeks now we've both had a 4. But this time it was me with the exact match that brought it through, whereas last time it was you.
Closing that gap on the exact matches, Dave.
Closing the gap on the exact matches, and closing the gap on the picks, even though not this week, but it's still close. So
I'm sweating here now, boys. I'm sweating.
Off camera, he's not happy, I'll tell you. He does not want to lose.
We're changing it this week. We're getting a 10 out of 10 this week, and Davey's going to get back to 50%. Dave, we need you, Dave.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we're home and hosed. But look. Big games this weekend. We're going to start with probably the most eye-catching fixture of the weekend, and that's at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea United. It's a tough one to call. You kind of got to think Chelsea are the favourites though for this one, Dave.
Feels hard to go against them. I mean, 1 of 3 unbeaten. For me, they're the best form team at the moment. Yep. They look great. They're scoring goals. They're keeping clean sheets. They looked great against Liverpool a few weeks ago. They deserve the win in the league, if we're honest. I think United, they've made some improvements, but we've talked a lot about them, and we're not going to rehash those debates, but I can't see them going to Stamford Bridge and winning.
It's just one of those things, though, like when the international break comes, like after the international break, can be a weird time for players because they've been away with their country for just over a week, and they've not been training with their club. They've not seen their manager. They've been in different countries, different time zones. Can all have an impact on the game, and I don't know. Like I do think that Chelsea are probably going to win this game, and they've got to be favourites. They're at home. They're in form. Eden Hazard probably best player in the Premier at the moment in terms of quality and form. United have looked shaky all over the park in the last few games, and especially against Newcastle. Even though they got the win, they were 2-0 down at half time, and they were close to going 3 and being out of it. You just think that they're not going to be able to contain Chelsea's forward line. But
De Gea he's not the man he was.
He's not. But you can also see Mourinho going there and parking the bus, and this is where he's not going to want to lose to Chelsea. This is something that is going to be very personal for him. He's not going to want to lose to Chelsea, and I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a lot closer than you instantly think it might be. I still think Chelsea have got too much for United.
Give me a score.
I'm going to go. Oh, it's a tough one. I'm going to go 3-1 Chelsea. 3-1 Chelsea, but I think 3-1. Even though I say it's going to be close, I think the second and third goals will probably come late on. Chelsea will get a second, it'll open up, and they'll get the third later on in the game and win that way. It won't be. I don't think it'll be a stroll to a 3-1. I think it'll be a bit closer than we think.
I just don't see how the disjointed and not functional United midfield is going to get enough ball in this game versus a midfield that is just stacked. Look, it's got huge possession for Chelsea all over it. I don't see them conceding either. I'm going 2-0 Chelsea.
2-0. Kepa's going to keep a clean sheet.
He looks good, man.
Yeah,
he looks good.
He does. And he didn't play for Spain either, did he?
No, and De Gea didn't. He let 3 in.
Yeah.
At least Rashford's on his team this week, so he won't have to defend him. But United so shaky in the middle, so shaky at the back. Whatever they've got going forward, you're going up against one of the form teams, if not the form team, and I just don't think it'll be enough. 2-0.
2-0.
Sorry, Jose.
All right, sorry. Well, Jose, you probably won't be in for a roasting unless you have an absolutely terrible performance.
7-0, we're going to roast the crap out of you.
You're expected to lose against Chelsea, so it'll have to be something shocking to get a roasting. But it sounds like you're not in for a good weekend.
Well, he'll get roasted by his ex-fans, won't he? I'm sure Stamford Bridge is going to give him a wonderful reception.
He will. All right, Bournemouth. Great result for them before the international break. Playing host to one of the least informed teams in the Premier League at the moment. And that's the bell end Mark Hughes' Southampton.
Oh, it's a relationship that's just left scars all over my man Mike. It really has. And look, I hate him almost as much, and he's never managed one of my teams.
Smug little bastard.
He is a smug little bastard, and he can't lead Southampton to a win at Bournemouth.
He can't, can he? I mean, this is like we were joking before we started recording that this could. Everyone thinks Bournemouth are going to win this game, and it'll end up being Southampton that win it 4-1 or something. Because Bournemouth are one of those teams that you just never know what's going to come
They are up and down, aren't they? Yeah.
But having said that, I think that Southampton have leaked goals this season. They're not exactly free flowing the other end either. So I think Bournemouth, with the strikers they've got, and the players and the attacking players they've got that are in form, Wilson, Fraser, King, all looking strong. Their midfield are looking good as well. I think they're probably going to have too much for Southampton. Being at home as well, I'm gonna go for a 3-0 to Bournemouth.
I was thinking 3-0, but I don't know. They're just so up and down, and feels like the kind of game they should win bigger. And we've predicted in other episodes they would win bigger, and they haven't. And for that, I'm gonna go 2-0. Certainly don't see Southampton scoring. I mean,
even your boy Danny Ings.
Ings, Austin, and Gabbiadini are going to have to find something really special.
What happened
to
to Gabbiadini?
He's been injured, I think.
He started off like a house on fire at Southampton, and then he just got injured and went missing, didn't he?
He's pretty one-dimensional, I think, and I don't think it took other defenders a long time to figure him out.
All three of their strikers could fit that mould. Like Charlie Austin, as much as I love him, he's very predictable in what he's going to do a lot of the time. He's not got a lot of pace.
Not anymore.
And he's not got any particular attribute that's outstanding. He's a decent header of the ball. Danny Ings has got a bit of pace, but there's injuries have taken their toll. They're all pretty one-dimensional strikers. You can see why they're not firing in the goals right, left and centre. All right, Bournemouth picking up the 3 points according to me and Dave this week. Tough game to call this one, even though they're struggling this season. Cardiff against Fulham. What do you reckon, Dave?
Well, yeah, we've said it all season. Fulham defensively naive, and I think Cardiff will expose that at home. That's right. It's everywhere. I think at home they'll score against Fulham, but I'm picking Mitrovic to start finding.
Come on, Mitro, do the business, mate. Come on, I need those points, or you're getting dropped, son.
Sessegnon's gotten better the last few weeks. Maybe the results haven't gone that way, but his personal results have been a lot better lately.
Yeah, we've been impressed with Seri as well.
Seri's been great,
lovely player.
And even Schürrle, for me, he's still got a lot to give. I know.
Good goal against Arsenal.
Great goal against
lovely
Arsenal.
Finish.
And he's been close with a lot. The only thing I criticise him is perhaps a little selfish. He shoots a lot when he could look for other players.
I agree.
But we won't go into all that. Let's just talk scores. I do see Cardiff scoring, but I see Fulham doing enough in a cheeky 2-1.
Yeah, look, this is going to be a tough one to call because I think that, again, this is one of those ones that Cardiff look down the fixture list. They can't look past this game as being one that they won't get 3 points out of. They need 3 points out of games like this.
3 points.
They're going to be desperate for that result. They are terrible at the back, and so are Fulham. I can see this being a high-scoring game. I'm actually going to go for a score draw in this one, Dave. I'm going to go for 2-2. As much as I've been backing Fulham, I'm actually not that impressed with them at the back. They've really looked poor. And I think that Cardiff at home, with the fans backing them, pushing them on in a game that is essentially a 6-pointer for them, similar to the Huddersfield game that was a 6-pointer for them. These are the games they need to pick points up. I'm gonna go for a score draw. I think 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah,
I like it. Right, where we're off to next. This will be an easy one.
Etihad, City, Burnley. Bit of a derby, isn't it? City and Burnley.
Oh, it is a bit. Yeah, I guess.
It's not.
I don't think City will look at it that way, but Burnley may do.
I think this one is going to be what everyone thinks it's going to be. I think City are going to win. It's just more of a question of how much of a fight Burnley can put up in this game, and how can they keep the scoreline down.
How does Joe Hart play going back home and back to City?
You know what? I think Burnley are the kind of team that can really frustrate a team like City, and they can dig in, and they've got the defensive capabilities, and now they've not got that fatigue of the European competition they had. We've started to see a better side of Burnley. Burnley we knew of last season.
More settled.
I think Dyche's a solid manager, gets his players playing for him. They've not. going forward, I'm not that impressed with their forward line. Aaron Lennon's like 3 or 4 years past his peak.
To be fair,
Chris Woods is not.
Yeah, Chris Woods been
not
awful.
doing the business.
But Vokes has come in and made a real difference.
He has, and he's a proper target man, and he scored for Wales as well in the international break. So I think that they've got an opportunity to go and frustrate City. I still think City have got too much. I think City will win 2-0. Is what I'm trying to say. I think City will not find this kind of game the same kind of game as they found against the Huddersfields of this world, where they go and they just absolutely rampage them and get 4 or 5 on the scoreboard. I think Burnley have got a bit more about them. They've got a bit more Premier League nous about them as well, and I think because of that, I think 2-0 City.
It was funny. I was going to say I think this would be a lot like the game against Brighton at the Etihad, which was 2-0. I think Burnley are certainly capable of putting up a decent start, frustrating for a while, but eventually it'll tell. And will it be like Brighton? Brighton were found out when they first tried to have a crack.
That's right.
They got comfortable in the game. They thought, we'll have a go. And that first moment they had a go, they conceded. And I feel like this could be very similar, except I do feel that City... they're starting to warm into it a bit more, and I think that they'll improve on the performance they had against Brighton by 1 to make it 3-0.
What's interesting, just final word on this one as well, would be who Guardiola picks as a starting lineup, especially in that front 5 that they've got. Like Sterling played both games for England, did really well, especially against Spain. So did they rest him? Aguero didn't play for Argentina. He wasn't even in the squad.
But he did have a knock, so that kind of makes some sense.
So would he start? Will Gabriel Jesus start for City?
He stinks of it.
He doesn't look great this season.
He hasn't looked great at all.
No,
I'm sorry. World Cup, he was appalling.
Yeah, World Cup he was appalling. When he broke onto the scene at City, I actually was quite impressed with him. He looked like a proper poacher, but he has lacked game time for City, and I think a player like that, the type of player like that, he's a poacher, he's a fox in the box. He's not going to score 20-yard screamers, 30-yard screamers. He is going to pick up scraps. He's going to get one-on-ones and score from. He's only going to score from penalty spot and closer. He needs game time. He needs confidence. He needs goals under his belt, and not getting that, I think, is affecting him. And that's probably why we've not seen the best out of him. He's a young lad as well.
That's true, and I don't disagree, but that is his style, and I agree. He, like, in some ways, he reminds me of like a Van Nistelrooy in the sense that he won't score out of the box. He'll score in the box. He'll always be in there. He'll be a nuisance. That just makes me wonder why he's there, because that's not the game that City play.
Yeah, that's true.
And he doesn't, for me, he just doesn't fit. I think he was the best available option at the time, and they could have done better, and they should have since. I think he should be shipped, and someone new should be brought in personally.
Controversial.
And if they
get rid of Jesus. Man.
Oh, but my word, can you imagine if you got another top striker there? I mean, we talked about this before. We said once,
Lewandowski.
or a Kane, or someone like that. Holy cow! So stay there, please. But you're crap.
Yeah. All right. So look, it's going to be interesting who Guardiola picks. We're both going for a City win. Don't disappoint me, Pep. Don't put out a B team, mate, and draw 0-0 against Burnley.
Don't park the bus again, because that was not like you at Anfield, and I wasn't impressed.
All right, another tough one to call. St James's, Newcastle, and Brighton. This is a tough one.
This is as tough as they get this week.
I think if it was Brighton at home, I'd be confident in saying Brighton are going to get the win here. But Newcastle at home, Geordies, 40,000, 50,000 Geordies singing their hearts out. It's going to be tough to see. I mean, for me, it's tough to call either team winning this. I can see this being a draw, and I think there will be goals in it. I don't know if it'll be too high scoring. Glenn Murray's always good, and he's a Geordie boy. He's a Mackham, isn't he?
He is.
He's a Mackham, right. So he'll be desperate to score against Newcastle. So I think with that in mind, I think I'm going to go for 1-1 in this one, mate.
I had score draw in my head as well,
yeah.
But Glenn Murray scores 2, and 2-2.
He's dreaming of fantasy points here, lads. He's wanting it this week.
I just dream of Glenn Murray generally.
dream of Glenn Murray.
He's just, it's like,
what's it called when you have an old person's fetish?
I'm not sure.
That's what you got, mate. With Glenn Murray. Yeah.
I can just picture him in a home like Golden Girls in like a sitcom, with like some other ex-footballers.
Lovely.
Except Glenn Murray's still playing because he's 117.
He'll never retire, mate.
2-2 for me. Brighton will do very well to win this game, I think. Like you said, Newcastle atmosphere, it is a tough place to go, and Brighton don't look that good on their travels.
Yeah.
Newcastle will go up another gear at home, but I do think Brighton are good enough to keep a draw.
This feels like one of us is going to get an exact on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it's got that feeling about it, that vibe. I definitely think it's going to be a draw. Let's hope it's me, lads, but yeah. If not, if it's 2-2 in the 90th minute, then I'll take. I don't want the draw. I don't want to get the outcome right. I'll take the Newcastle win. I'll let them have it.
That's how much it means, doesn't it?
Let them have it. Just don't let Dave get the exact.
We're in week 9. What's he going to be like in week 35?
Every game's a cup. Every week's a cup final, lads. And
it has added some extra spice to the games for the teams you don't support. I will say that.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the London derby this weekend. West Ham against Spurs. Proper London derby this is as well. North against South. It's not North against South, is it? It's North against East.
North against East.
I think this as much as I think West Ham think of it, this could be a tough test for Tottenham. But having said that, I think Tottenham have got too much quality for West Ham. West Ham defensively susceptible. I think that Harry Kane for England looked like he could show some glimmers against Spain of the Harry Kane we know and love. I think if that Harry Kane turns up against West Ham are in for a tough time. I think with players like potentially with Eriksen back, Eric the Apple doing his business, he's been looking good this season. Lucas Moura, bit of a break, could do him the world of good.
Midfield problems, at the back problems.
I think I think that Tottenham have got way too much quality for West Ham. I think West Ham will put up a fight. I've always said it. I like Arnautovic. I think he's a proper player. I think he's the kind of player that can cause Tottenham's defence some problems. For that reason, I think West Ham are going to get a goal. But I think Tottenham are going to win this one 2-1.
I've got 3-1. Kane's in great form.
He is.
They need to click. And this is the kind of game where they will potentially find that rhythm that they've been lacking, because they have just not really put out 90 minutes of good football this season.
They haven't.
And I don't know. They've got an enforced change at the back. Vertonghen is potentially not going to play again this year.
Yeah.
Not till the new year.
So it'll be Sanchez and Alderweireld.
That's right. And Sanchez is prone to a mistake, but I think he's a bit of a beast.
I quite like him. I think he's good. He's got a lot of pace. That lad.
He does.
Good recovery pace.
Kind of Gomez-esque in the way that he plays, except maybe a little bit more susceptible to a mistake, although Gomez isn't immune to that either.
Don't know if he's as comfortable on the ball as well, Sanchez, as Gomez is, but he's a good defender and he's a good replacement for Vertonghen. He's not a poor player, and he'll do the job that they need.
But Lloris isn't convincing. The back isn't convincing at all at the moment. I'd like to see Tottenham put in a good performance, and 3-1 might be more wishful thinking, but yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All right, the battle of the W's now. Wolves against Watford. That's a real battle as well, Dave.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Watford and Wolves.
Yeah. Right. Local knowledge.
Yeah, look, mate. It's just every week you're getting a little bit more out of here. Wolves against Watford. I think Watford are the informed team in the Premier League at the moment.
Watford?
Wolves are the informed team.
Maybe 6 weeks ago.
Watford are the non-informed. They're the reverse of that. The non-informed team at the moment. So I think, look, Wolves are, especially at home, are forced to be reckoned with. Yeah. They've looked solid at the back at home, which has been really impressive. They haven't got any flash players at the back. Rui Patricio, I think, is a great sign, an international quality goalkeeper, European Championship winning goalkeeper, very good player to have signed for them, and he's done the business for them this season. He's really good. So I think they've got a lot of strength in that back line, that midfield, with Neves and Moutinho sitting in front of it. I really like their squad. I really like the freedom that their team's playing with, but also the discipline that they've got in each of their roles. Watford started off brilliantly this season in the Premier League. Looked like they were clicking all over the park. Doucouré scoring own goals with his cock, the lot. But they've started to hit a bit of a slump, and this is pretty typical Watford. They do this in different patches across many seasons where they've hit really good form, and then they just can't sustain it because of a lack of quality in their team, and they dip right off. And I think that this is going to continue this week. I think Wolves are one of the strongest teams in the Prem at the moment in terms of togetherness as a team, cohesion as a unit, understanding their roles, playing for the manager, confidence. All that contributes to a team that are going to be very dangerous whoever they come up against. And I think at home against Watford, they're going to have a bit too much, mate. I think I'm going for a Wolves win. I don't know if there'll be tons of goals in this one. I think there might be a goal in it for Watford, but I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1 to Wolves.
I'm going to go 2-0 Wolves, and virtually for the same reasons. I mean, Nuno, in terms of what he's planning each week against his opponents, I mean, he clearly does fabulous work off in the training ground with these guys, because they just seem so prepared for the challenge that's coming each week.
Seems like a proper coach.
He does. Yeah. He really, it feels like he's obviously got a great team around him. The analysis of the opposition's top drawer.
Yeah.
And they go out there and they nullify the opposition. And that's one of the things I like the most is they play some great football to watch, but it's as much what they do off the ball, nullifying the opposition, that's really impressed me. And certainly we'll talk about the City game all year, because that was what they did perfectly. Nullify the threats, take your chance.
Yeah.
And in this game, I think they'll do that. And Deeney, being one of those threats, is really struggling at the moment. He's been one of the reasons that Watford are struggling.
Pereira's dried up a little bit.
He has, and you said after week 1 he only scores absolute fizzy bangers.
It's not sustainable.
Man, they look great on the highlights.
Yeah, they do.
Week in, week out, you'll take a tap in all day. Yeah. I just see 2-0 to Wolves on this one.
Just a little extra fact for you, Dave, as well. Nuno is has the second most appearances on Top Bin thumbnails.
Oh,
yeah, along with Jurgen. It's tied with Jurgen Klopp. Oh. And you obviously know who number one is.
Number one's got to be Mark Hughes, right? Oh, sorry, hang on.
Hasn't appeared
it's that other Klopp manager. Yeah.
He never will. All right, look, serious business. Moving on to your boys.
Come on. Come on.
Big win, surely, against Huddersfield. Away at Huddersfield. Best mates against each other.
Well, I love it. I enjoyed this last season. I'm going to enjoy it again.
Yep.
And they gave us a good run in one of the games last season, to be fair.
Yep.
Vargs and Klopp love each other. Best man at Klopp's wedding. They're best mates. We all know the story.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of respect there, but there's also a huge desire to win against your best mate as well. I mean, imagine managing in the Premier League against your best friend.
Yeah.
Does it get any better? Banter-wise, and they both love a beer as well, so you know they're going to be out for a curry and a beer afterwards. Liverpool haven't clicked, and it's super frustrating and disappointing. And now we've got Van Dijk that virtually confirmed that the rib injury's been a break, and he's been playing through it. Although he's come back early, had a game off this morning, and didn't play the Belgium game. He's been back. He'll almost certainly start.
Yeah. Give him injections to get him through.
Oh yeah, he's a tough boy as well.
Is that necessary though against Huddersfield? Do they need to do that?
Well, one stray elbow apparently is all it takes to really make him flare up. It's apparently pretty painful. 2 cracked ribs is what I've been told.
I can imagine it would be painful, mate. Especially all the gags he's be laughing at on Top Bin when he's watching the Top Bin.
Tell you what, you keep trolling me on the show, you'll find out. Milner's got a hamstring injury. Doesn't look like he'll be playing. Mane's got a hand injury. I mean, you don't need your hand to play football, exactly. So surely he's going to play. But Salah's done his groin.
Probably a good thing for him, isn't it?
And got a bit of a rest as well.
Get his head right.
For me, I'd drop him and put the Power Cube in all day. And Power Cube...
It's the kind of game that'll suit the Power Cube, I think.
Well, he looked great in his half a game start, didn't he, before he got pulled. I don't think they're there yet. The injuries aren't going to help that, but I still see them winning pretty handsomely, and that's mainly because Alisson's been so good in goal.
Yeah.
Oh God, how much? 3-0.
Going 4, Dave. Going 4. Going one more. I think Liverpool, although we haven't seen the best of them this season, they'll want to really ram home those 2 great results they got against City and Chelsea. And they were great results, getting a point against both of those teams, especially in the Chelsea game where they were 1-0 down. Away, last minute screamer from Danny Sturridge. I think those 2 points that they got were crucial to them, but they're going to need to now ram that home with an impressive performance. And I think that's exactly what they'll do. They'll go to Huddersfield, they'll outplay them, they'll show them their pace and their strength going forward. Don't think Huddersfield have got anything anywhere near enough quality to match Liverpool in that midfield in particular as well, where I think a lot of games are won and lost. And so for that, I think I'm going 4-0, mate.
I like it. I like the thing I like the most is 0. Both of us think 0. And I think that says a lot about where Liverpool's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, the fullbacks are great. The Gomez and Van Dijk playing brilliantly together. I mean, if you can nullify City, you should be nullifying Huddersfield.
And Huddersfield just haven't got as much going forward either. I just can't see them getting the goals.
No. Good call. Love it. Back to the shitty part of Liverpool.
Yeah, to the blue half of Merseyside, and that's Everton. Everton against Palace. My boy Gylfi playing in this one. The modern day Stevie Gerrard.
Don't say it. Like watching the analytics on YouTube, and the minute where he says that,
it's all seriousness. I think Everton at home now, they've got a bit of form. Players in a little bit of form as well. Gylfi did well in the international break as well for Iceland. I think when he's confident, he is a pivotal player for them. He is the playmaker. Everything goes through him. I think that. Don't think Everton are the best at the back. Still, I'm not convinced by their centre back pairing.
What about Pickford in the league? He's been a bit. I mean,
great assist for with the England game.
Yeah, but he should have been sent off for England as well. Yeah. So I mean, and that to me is kind of telling of what he's been like since the World Cup.
He's been very patchy in the World Cup. Overconfident. I think he's also a bit tired as well. I think he's young. He's got a lot to learn still. I'm just not convinced about Everton at the back. I think that Palace going forward are also pretty shabby. We talked about this many times about Wilf Zaha being the only man that can really do anything. Van Aanholt as well got potential getting forward, but striker-wise they're looking really dry for goals.
I'm not even want to mention the other one. Let's just not even mention him this week.
Until he scores, we shall not speak his name.
I'm finding it hard to find new pictures of him looking sad. I must have used 1,000 in the show already.
Until you score, you know who you are. Until you score, we won't mention you. I think Everton have got too much though going forward for Palace in this game. And
score me, come on, score me.
It's going to be close. I think I'm going to go 3-1 Everton. I think they've got goals in them. Shown they've got goals in them this season. But I think Palace might nick one. Zaha might get one. So 3-1.
I'm going to be really cheeky here, and although I think Everton's going to win, I think it's going to be a dog of a match. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that this is just going to be a real titchy, plenty of fouls, plenty of cynical shit.
Yeah.
Typical bloody Goodison fixture. All seriousness, Everton's got to win it, but I think it might only be 1-0.
Who's going to score, Gylfi?
Oh, God. I've had a week of this. Every day at work. Every day he's recruited people to jump on this bloody better than Steven Gerrard bandwagon.
Look, if we want to have a proper debate about this, let's just get a like on this video and let us know that that's what you want.
I think it's comments,
I think it's what the people want. I think we need to break this out. I've got plenty of stats here.
Mate, I'll go all day.
To back up Gylfi's godlike status. But anyway, look, we're both plumping for an Everton win in the match against Palace, so Everton go and do the business for us and get us those victories.
Final game of the weekend.
Final game of the weekend. Arsenal-Leicester, probably one of the toughest for me to call this is.
One of the best as well. I think this is going to be a great game.
I don't think there's many Arsenal games that won't have goals in them this season.
No, they're that team now, aren't they?
They are that team.
We'll score one more than you.
Lacazette, banging form. Aubameyang getting there, warming up. Ramsey getting there, warming up.
Although that contract dispute's really got to get sorted because
They need to tie him down. They need to tie him down. They're talking about him going to United potentially as well.
Talking about him going to Liverpool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a waste to go Liverpool. I think you've got already enough players in that position that do the job.
Yeah, I don't. Personally, I don't see it. I mean, you've got Cater, who's younger and better in my opinion. But look. Just tie the guy down. He's great for Arsenal. He means a lot for the club. Yeah. I think you tie him down. He's still good enough.
Going to be a lot of goals in this game, though. Arsenal-Leicester. I think that players like Maddison, Vardy, we talk about them every week, especially Maddie. I think Maguire at set pieces. Arsenal are very susceptible at set pieces. I can see this being a very high-scoring game. Lots of action, lots of entertainment. I'm going to go out there, mate. This is my left field pick of the week. This one, I'm going 3-3.
Really, I'm going 3-2 to Arsenal. Ooh. I think both keepers are going to be super busy.
Yeah.
I think the Arsenal back line is still just dog shit in my opinion. But Bernd Leno has come in, and man, he
looks better, doesn't he?
So impressive.
He looks better.
I feel bad because Petr Cech pulled his form around shot stopping wise.
Yeah.
But Leno was in a drop from that, but the rest of his game's so much better.
Yeah.
And man, he has been absolutely all over the place in that goal. He's been brilliant saving and great distribution. And I think 3-2, it'll be an absolute nail biter. I think it'll be a real thriller.
Historically, this has been a cracking game as well. You think back to the days of Bergkamp pulling it out of the sky, knocking it past Casey Keller. There's been some crackers of Arsenal against Leicester, and I think this will be another one. I don't think this will disappoint. Plenty of good players in this, and plenty of poor defending in this as well. So,
and I think it's kind of good, right? Like two teams that aren't defending well at the moment.
Yeah. Two
teams that aren't too bad going forward. I mean, Arsenal slightly better, but I think it's going to be really entertaining.
All right, that's all of our picks for this week. Big calls there with Arsenal at the end. I think one of us is going to be very happy come Tuesday, and one of us is going to be very sad. But don't forget, if you like this video, hit the like. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you can keep up with all of our content. We come out with at least 2 a week usually, unless it's the international break, and then we just cry in between. And don't forget to go and like our Facebook. It's facebook.com/TopBinsFantasy. Spread the word, tell your friends about the Top Bins movement, and come back next week for the review when you can see Dave in tears because he's buggered up his weekend, and I'll be sitting pretty and have built out that lead again. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.